And I think that helps because for folks that don't normally like to go into that type of area, you asking for it a lot of times will free them up to where all of a sudden they will engage in that conversation, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Can you describe 3 components of your philosophy of management that demonstrates what you value and add as an individual to an organization's culture and work environment?
Yeah, I think the first one would be really around the concept of achievement, that there's that I bring a core set of skills at a very detailed level that can add to the organizational goals of, in my area, that's the integrity of the financial statements. The other part of that, I guess the second one would then be essentially a teamwork type of cooperative aspect where, at my level, that's not really what they hired me for, is that, that skill set is really that of an individual contributor, and my position is to be a manager and direct these activities. And so if I'm stuck looking at spreadsheets all day, that is not what they want me doing.
Right.
That's not what I should be doing.
Right.
And so knowing that, being able to work cooperatively both at the detail level and at the strategic level, keeping our organizational goals in mind, balancing that and managing that efficiently is a key aspect of value that I bring to the company. And I'd say the third one would be attitude. Approach things with a great attitude, with enthusiasm. Approach them as challenges, puzzles, and working again cooperatively with the team. You can spread that energy.
Definitely.
Everybody's got these surprise projects and tight deadlines. And so coming in with a really good attitude, I think can really help. What could be otherwise very stressful, negative situations, and that's something that's totally driven by your thinking, by your mind. I think can be a conscious decision to do so.
Yeah, that's what I found about a lot of the managers here at Spirit. They're all very positive, very energetic.
Yeah.
And it feeds. Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's Spirit's very positive that way.
It was not
right.
like that at Hawker at all.
Right.
Yeah. And at some point it's just like you dread getting out of bed to go to work the next day. It gets that bad.
Right. Yeah, it becomes a very toxic environment.
It is.
When folks are not working together, or
just the
you're
lack
in survival
of communication, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. At a time when they probably need that desperately.
Yeah. Okay. What factors are crucial within an organization and must be present for you to work most effectively? Which we've touched on that a little bit, but
I'd say a good tone at the top. For me personally, having good leadership that communicates and is clear about organizational goals is key. That provides a lot of direction, or I guess a framework, so that I know I'm staying within certain goals of the company. And I'd say just overall integrity. I'd say, and that really encompasses things like respect for your coworkers. There's going to be times when you get into spirited debates about things. Right. The key is to keep it professional. There's a way to really get passionate about a subject and really, it can escalate, but there's a certain point at which it can become personal, or really almost revert to a very childish type of regressive behavior,
Yeah.
where they're lashing out or anger comes out, those types of things, where that really that just takes it in a whole nother direction. That it isn't positive. It doesn't help. It can intimidate or threaten, and that aspect of if you call it negotiation or debate, particularly between organizations, I think is key. If
Yeah.
you've got that under control, then really, I mean, you can really work to solve problems.
Mm-hmm. Great. Sorry, I'm almost done.
No problem. No problem.
As a manager, how do you approach change within your department, and how do you respond? How would you or do you respond to your employees' concerns about change?
That's been an area where I'd say I haven't worked with groups that are just really averse to change. I've been lucky that way.
Okay.
And
That's a good thing.
yes, it's a very good thing. And where I have, there's been a few exceptions where folks have been doing the same job for 25 years and just they
They're
knew
just stuck in a rut.
exactly, and so really the approach to that is really kind of dissecting the overall the job duties, what they do, how they do it, what are some of the skills involved with that, and then looking for areas that either incorporate some of those skills. It all depends on where they're at in their career too. If they're 2 years from retirement, you don't really want to spend a lot of time developing them for some new job, only to have them. They're going to be miserable for 2 years.
Yeah.
You're going to be miserable for 2 years, and so you've got to really. It really comes in context of the person,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if you can start incorporating some of the things against their personality type. What do they like about their job? If they do really just like the repetitious analysis, looking for things like, recurring journal entries, things that are based on set amortizations, those types of, again, repetitive things that somebody else in the organization may have that just drives them nuts.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like doing the same thing month after month after month. They want to be on to something new, and this is just taking up a lot of time. So you can find certain aspects, or you can find certain of those things that these folks love. I mean, you can move work around that way. Where change is really more dramatic, or I'd say involves the basic structure of the department, that gets a little more difficult. It kind of depends what the cause of it was.
Right.
If that's something that we're doing proactively, or as part of an overall kind of reorganization of a department or something, then usually we put a lot of time into that and know where everybody's gonna end up. If it's more of an unplanned type of change, that can be difficult. But again, I've just been fortunate to work with groups that were very flexible, and I think a lot of that was due to just the fact that the groups tended to be very tight knit.
Mm-hmm.
Did things outside of work, ate lunch together, those types of things. So when something adverse happened, they were the first to volunteer to take additional things, even if it was somebody just leaving unexpectedly. That the split up of the workload until you could get a backfill and those types of things really worked pretty smoothly. But also too, I think part of that is that sharing some of that responsibility, with the group, as far as letting them determine a lot of the way that the changes should play out.
Yeah.
I rely heavily on the group for the suggestions, for the plan, for how to deal with these things, because I could easily just take that myself and just mandate certain things, and that doesn't help get any buy-in from the group, and they've got no responsibility for it either.
Right.
And so, my own philosophy's been to share responsibility, because people like it. At the end of the day, I think folks get a lot of personal satisfaction when they're in charge of a process.